Okay, so this particular lab model will show you a lot of different things. You can look at structures that are occurring, or the things that are changing inside of the ovary. You can look at the different parts of the fallopian tube. You can look at the different parts of the uterus. But ultimately what we want to see here is what's going to happen after we have that secondary oocyte ovulated out of the ovary and then traveling through the fallopian tube. During that time frame, as this secondary oocyte leaves the ovary, again, it's surrounded by the corona radiata. This is going to travel up towards the fimbria in order to get into the tube. This is representing the secondary oocyte here. So as you can see, it's surrounded by this corona radiata. If it meets up with a sperm in the tube, usually on this outer aspect here, within this area is where fertilization will actually occur. So the sperm has to penetrate the corona radiata, the zona pellucida, in order to actually get into that secondary oocyte. Once it's in, then now we're going to have an ovum, and mom's and dad's genetic material can combine together to help us create what's called a zygote. What's going to happen is this one cell is going to start duplicating, and it will become 2 cells, then it will become 4 cells, which is what you see right here. 4 will go to 8, 8 will go to 16, 16 will go to 32. Ultimately, we'll end up with a multicellular mass. And this multicellular mass, once it's at the point where it's ready for implantation, is called a blastocyst. So what is actually implanting right here is called the blastocyst. So you can see that there's a lot of different structures that are going to be happening inside of the blastocyst to help with the growth and development of this future child. In regards to this area here, this is where we would have the amnion. This is going to be where we will have the yolk sac, and this is the embryonic disc that is eventually going to form every piece of that new human being. Whenever we're looking over here, as you can see, this is a baby that is within about the 5-week time of development. And whenever we are looking at wherever that baby implanted, whether it was over here on the superior aspect or over here on the superior aspect of the uterus, remember it's trying to burrow underneath that endometrium so that it can tap into mom's blood supply. Everything that's in red is the myometrium. So baby is going to try to get into the endometrium, tap into mom's blood supply, and that's where the placenta will then develop. So whether the implantation happens over here or over here, the placenta will always develop wherever the baby implants. But before we get a placenta, we have to have something like a yolk sac to provide that nourishment and nutrition to that baby as it is starting its process of growth and development. This is all called cleavage. So as it goes through the tube, what's happening is the cells are doubling and multiplying. So that is called cleavage. That's how we go from one single secondary oocyte combining with one sperm in order to give us one 46 chromosome child.